Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Lighten Up with Bo. So nice to have you. Yeah, I'm wearing a hat today. This is one of my other fun logos that I made at Lighten Up Movement website. In case you've never been to my channel, I make these fun symbols that I wear around in the world, and people stop me and go, "I love that. What is that?" Well, I take a lot of things in life too seriously. At least when I'm identified as my ego, how can I not take everything seriously? I actually, instead of being an eternal soul, believe I'm a body that dies and that's it. How could I not be miserable and depressed and feel scared and sad all the time? But when I'm identified in my right mind, I remember that nothing can touch me. And so I make these fun symbols. One of them's an arrow pointing up called the Lighten Up movement. You can go to my website. But today I was like, you know what? Let's wear another happy symbol. So wherever you are in the world, I always like to remind you, lighten up. And lighten up means take a breath and pause and invite your soul. Invite the part of your soul that knows everything's okay. Even though there's a part of you that wants to fight that, there's a part of you that knows everything is okay. And I'm actually terrified of that. Who would I be if I didn't have a problem or an issue that I was always up against? Who would I be if the belief of issues was just that, a belief? Instead of dealing with the issues, my prayer should be, Father, Mother, God, Great Spirit, help me to forgive the part of my mind that believes in issues. What would life look like if I had no belief or thought about problems? So I'm going through the Course in Miracles. So grateful for you that keep coming and are doing the lessons. But people are showing up. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing. You are loved. You are valuable. I'm so grateful you're here. I appreciate you. For those that are doing the lessons, this isn't easy work, right? This is asking for a vigilance to take time every day to set aside all the things that you think are the real need and to go inside and be at one with peace and silence and call on the Holy Spirit and call on the great eternal soul that is our true reality, and to have an experience beyond what we think of ourselves to be, to have a new experience about what we are. So I do the Course in Miracles lessons. I'm going through all of them and trying to just bring a little bit of ease and gentleness, because my experience is there's just such a serious energy in so many things in the world, and I think that seriousness is the ego. Because our soul nature is at peace and play all the time. Any part of us that thinks we're trying to get somewhere, that has to be the ego. Because our soul is already home. It has nowhere to get, it's already there. Only the nature that's like, oh my God, we got it just a little harder, a little more. We just got to just a few more minutes in meditation. Like that is the ego meditating. And it can only arrive nowhere. So I'm doing the lessons. So glad you're here. Right now we're in a review period where we're taking some of the lessons from a few weeks ago, and we're kind of re-practicing them in a meditation form, once in the morning and once at night for 10 to 15 minutes. And then throughout the day, we do little subtle applications whenever we can just remind ourselves, because we're steeping ourselves in this new mind, which is really our true mind. That's the Course in Miracles, to undo the old way of belief and thought and restore the only reality there is, the one thought of never-ending love and kindness and wholeness and unity and fearless expression and creation. That mind that is unaffected by illusions and fantasies. So, Lesson 86 is the lesson we're on today. The review of Lessons 71 and 72. So Lesson 86, there's two review lessons. Lesson 71 is only God's plan for freedom will work. And Lesson 72 is holding grievances, which is really another word for judgments or resentment. Holding resentments is an attack, an assault on God's plan for freedom. So, as I promise, I always like to break it down really simple before I start reading them. So what are these two lessons? What are they a review of? So if you showed up today and you're in pain, you're struggling, you're hurting, you're looking for an answer, maybe this one lesson will help. but only God's plan for salvation will work. The short version is this. There's nothing else that will work other than God's plan. God's plan is not an outer plan, it's an inner plan. God's plan is an inner plan. It's a going in and relinquishing everything that we've put in the way on the altar of that peace and that present and letting it dissolve. But if you think that there's like this spiritual meditative plan, and it's like, I need 2 houses and a better job, and I need to have a kid, I need to be a mom or a dad, that's the plan. I will feel free and at whole when I become a parent. I will feel free when I exceed in this one area. I will feel free when I am whatever. It still places your freedom in the future. And see, that's a different plan. God's plan for salvation is literally forgiving everything that's in the way of that we are already home. We are whole. Forgiveness is the plan. It's constantly forgiving a mind that tries to go outside and find any reality in this dualistic separative nature. It's trying to squeeze duality into oneness. Do you see that they're mutually exclusive? Duality is separate. One is one. There's no such thing as duality existing inside of oneness, because oneness consumes duality. It is one. Does that make sense? That'd be like saying 1 and 2 are the same, or that 2 exists inside of 1. No, it's one. Like the insanity of the ego is how the ego mind is the part of the mind that's constantly trying to make fantasies and reality be the same. And we do it in the most insane ways possible. I had somebody comment on my channel, thank you for your comment. And they're like, death is real and death is a part of the one mind. And then when we die, we take that one mind from life to life. But that would mean there's a life that happens here that ends, and then another life that happens over here that begins. And we take the oneness from that life to this life. They're 2 different lives. There's only one life. One life. An eternal expression of life that has an infinite number of expressions within the one, but it's all in the one. There's no uniqueness. There's no part of the one that's like, oh, I'm my own little special snowflake inside of this one, and I'm like my own thing. That's crazy. So only God's plan means that there's no other plan other than forgiving anything other than that oneness is reality. That's the plan. Forgiveness is the plan. You can't have 2. And the second one, holding judgments, is an assault on God's plan. Only a mind or only an identity that thinks it's separate from the one thinks that it can have a idea or a belief or a label apart from the one. Like, well, I have my belief, I have my thoughts, and this is what it means to me. So when we think something has a meaning outside of the one, we're our own judge. So do you see, that's what it means that when you hold judgments, holding them to be true inside of you, holding yourself to be right about what you believe, separate from other, is an attack on God's plan for freedom. Because you can't forgive separation in your mind while you're holding on to what you're right about in your opinions and your judgments of others. That is why it's an attack. So every belief that you believe is yours, and in comparison to someone else's, it's the truth, that actually is an attack on the truth. Because you're excluding your mind from theirs. So that's the kind of breakdown. And now I'm just going to read the lessons, right? So Lesson 71. This is the review of 86 review. First review, the long meditation in the morning. You read it and then sit for 10 to 15 minutes and just meditate on this thought. Only God's plan for freedom will work. It is senseless for me to search wildly about for freedom. I have seen it in many people and in many things. But when I reached for it, it was not there. Meaning, with my mind, I have seen freedom and salvation in so many different spiritual teachers and different books and different places. I have believed it's in so many things and so many different people and so many different jobs and partnerships. I've seen it out there. But when I reached for it, it was not there. When I went to grab onto it, it was like smoke, because it's a fantasy. There is no freedom in any person, place, or thing outside of you, and there never will be. I was mistaken about where it is. I was mistaken about what it is. I will undertake no more idle seeking, meaning no more will I undertake senseless seeking. Only God's plan for freedom, salvation will work. Only God's plan for happiness will work. And I will rejoice because its plan can never fail. Why can its plan never fail? Because the plan is to forgive what was never real in my mind. It can't fail because what was never real was never real. So it can't fail. The minute I go, wait, show me that this was a fantasy of my thought, I promise you the example, the experience will come quicker than you can imagine. And you'll go, oh my God, it was not real, literally. It never fails when we bring our fantasies of belief to the truth. And then, I'm going to go ahead and read, I'm going to read the second lesson, which is your nighttime meditation. So after you read what I just read, you read it 3 or 4 times really slowly. And then you just sit in silence for like 10 to 15 minutes. And you just let those ideas go deeper and deeper. Only God's plan will work. And then lesson 72, the nighttime review. Holding judgments is an attack or an assault on God's plan for happiness, for salvation, for freedom. Holding judgments is an attempt to prove that God's plan for freedom will not work. Yet only its plan will work. By holding judgments, by holding resentments, I am therefore excluding my only hope of freedom from my awareness. Every time we hold a judgment and we're right about it, for a second, for 2, we block the oneness that we share. I would no longer defeat my own best interests in this insane way. I would accept God's plan for freedom and be happy. And then you read that 3 to 4 times or say it or listen to it. If for some reason you're doing the lessons by just listening to me, which I don't recommend, I recommend getting the book or getting an app and reading the lessons. Then you would read it very slowly 3 or 4 times at night and do a 10 to 15 minute meditation where you just let those ideas work in you. If you find your mind getting distracted, it gives you little short ideas to use you can come back to, or you can just say that holding judgments is an attack on God's plan for freedom. You can say that in your mind just to bring you back to the quiet. Maybe a judgment comes in and you go, oh, holding that judgment would be an attack on freedom. Now, throughout the day, as you know, when you do these lessons, you do the morning and you do the night. But then it gives you these little thoughts. Anytime you struggle throughout the day, or you feel a judgment, or you find yourself thinking that something else will give you freedom, you can use these little ideas. God's plan for freedom will save me in this. This is no exception in God's plan for my freedom. Let me perceive this only in the light of God's plan for freedom, right? Or I am choosing between misperception and freedom as I look on this. So what it means is, let's say you're going throughout the day and you're tempted to have a judgment about someone or something, and you're like, oh, this is a good one. I feel really right about, oops, and you catch yourself. Most of you are not going to memorize these. So you can open the app. Hello, city worker right outside my window. Beep, beep. You can open the app, and the minute you have that awareness and you can read that and go, oh, right, I'm having a judgment. I am choosing between misperception and freedom as I look on this. So you remember, I can either have a misperception, my judgment, or I can have the forgiveness and realize, oh, this is just a freedom opportunity. Or there's another one that says, this calls for freedom, not attack. So in the moment that my mind wants to judge someone or something or have an opinion, which is just a judgment, let's be honest, when I want to have a judgment about something, what's really a call for is a call for freedom in my own mind, not a judgment. Can I turn to forgiveness? Oh gosh, I see the part of my mind that wants to go into labeling and criticism to try to protect me. No, I think I want to go into forgiveness. Help me to forgive every part of my mind that wants to look out and see something wrong. Help me to forgive the part of my mind that usually goes to judgment. I just want to forgive. I want to see where only love exists here, even if I don't understand it. So, do the short versions however you want throughout the day. But thank you for being here and for doing the lessons. Again, if you've been doing the lessons, grateful. Thanks for listening. I try to do these lessons in a way that appeal to not just those doing the lessons, because some people show up here and they just needed an ounce of hope for a second. They may never do the lessons, and that's beautiful. But the main theme for today was no other plan other than the plan for forgiveness and love and oneness will work. Do some journaling if you want. What are all the plans that I put in the way of the one plan? Help me to let them all go. Or how do I hold judgments because I love them and I cherish them? Help me to let go of the part of my mind that uses judging to keep myself in separation. Whatever. You are whole, you are one, and we're all on the journey home. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you for lesson 87 or any other video coming soon. Again, if you want to comment, I love it. If you have questions, please ask them in the comments. Hey, can you speak about this in the next lesson or just do a topic? If you go to the Lighten Up movement, I have a fun little free thing you can download, which is just a quick little, like 7 little things to kind of bring you back. And I also have a fun little pamphlet that I made that's like 15 pages where, it's just a little reset. There's some questions, there's some play suggestions. It's kind of fun. It's all on the Lighten Up Movement website. Check it out. I'm here for you if you need help. You can also reach out to me if you want one-on-one guidance. You can go to the contact page and send me a message. So I'll see you on another lesson. Be well, stay light.